Hi everyone, iNTERCEPT here with another DevNote episode. Today we're going over the highly anticipated Season X, following the release of DayZ Frostline and launching our new S3 server.
Just survive, kill it, just survive, on it, run it, just survive, in it, just survive.
We're excited to announce that we have now officially partnered with Whitelist.gg. From Season X and beyond, Whitelist.gg will be powering our newest security bot, aimed primarily at detecting alt accounts of returning banned users. With Whitelist.gg, we are committed to providing our players with a fair gaming experience, where banned users can no longer ruin your day. The biggest addition of this season, of course, is the new S3 server, which will be running the snowy map of Sakhal. Officially, this map is a brutal test of survival, where the cold is your biggest enemy. We've tried to strike a balance between the official experience and what you've all come to expect of a DayZ server. With this, we've boosted our loot, but not to the same level as Chernarus or Livonia. This was done to make our core players feel at home, but still offering a slightly more hardcore feel to this server compared to the other two. We've added infinite stamina to Sakhal. This is done to keep the pace of the game up and to increase your chances of running into other players as you get to towns quicker. We've carried over our spawning loadouts from the other two maps, with each character having their own unique outfit, though, as you'll find, many of these outfits can be rather low on insulation, so your first priority should always be finding warm clothes and making a fire. We've added several custom spawn points to the southern coast of the main island. These towns spawn Tier 2 loot, but are further away from the capital city, so you'll have a choice to make if you do spawn in these locations. We've increased the maximum number of vehicles on the map to triple the amount that DayZ Official has. And as always, these vehicles will come fully equipped with all the parts needed to get them running. The water in the canteens, however, will spawn frozen. So you'll need to defrost the water to get it into the radiator, or bring your own supply of water to speed that process up. We expect this new dynamic will change the way that players manage the bi-weekly vehicle wipes. We've ported over our inertia settings from the other two maps over to S3 to make movement feel more precise and less sluggish. The day-night cycle has also been ported over, with days now lasting just under 2 hours and nights now lasting just over 10 minutes. However, the nights will now be much darker than official, and the white glow around your character has now been removed. In line with our other servers, we've now disabled the ability to reset whilst unconscious. This will prevent players from being able to steal the kill away from their killers. We've added 2 rare items to the map that can be sold to trader. These are the cigarette packets, which can be sold for 500 credits, and vodka bottles, which can be sold for 2,000 credits. We've also added the 6 rare books to the server also. Collecting all 6 of these and delivering them to the trader will earn you the Collector Accolade. The Warhead Bunker is now guarded by mummy zombies, and will now spawn Tier 4 loot in the unlocked room outside, whilst the best loot will be kept inside the 4 locked rooms. The Warhead Power Station is now a toxic gas zone, meaning you'll need a full NBC kit to enter. This will also be guarded by white NBC zombies. Lastly for Sakhal, we've updated the winter zombies so that they now spawn with the appropriate winter vests, bags and headgear, as on official we noticed they were still spawning with the green combat attachments, so this should hopefully help you get some of that winter gear you're after. Moving on from S3, boats have now been added to all 3 maps. These can be found around the coast on Chernarus, along the river on Livonia, and around the coast and islands on Sakhal. We've also added snowfall to all 3 maps. This will replace rain. We'll likely switch between the snow and the rain throughout the year. Foxes have been added to all 3 maps, and these fast little buggers can be killed and skinned for meat. Now, let's talk custom areas. We've removed both the quarantine zones and red zones from all maps. These were a Season 9 theme, and we won't be carrying them moving forwards. On S1, Chernarus, the Tizzy bunker has been relocated. This is now at Devil's Castle. As always, it's a toxic zone, and it will be guarded by the NBC and mummy zombies. The bunker still requires a punch keycard to enter. We've added custom buildings to Northwest Airfield, greatly increasing the amount of loot points there and bringing a lot of life to the northwest corner of Northwest Airfield. We've incorporated parts of the Zelenogorsk Deathmatch map into the main game itself. This change provides a lot of new PvP routes, and we expect this to be a fun spot for PvP. With this change, Zelenogorsk is now a no-build zone again. We've also made some minor changes to Balota Airfield, Northeast Airfield, Tizzy, and VMC. Moving on to Livonia, we've added a new custom military base near Gibraltar, and another at Lukau. We've kept some elements of the previous Gleniska Airfield quarantine zone, minus the perimeter walls, and also made some minor changes to Kolombrody, Nadbor military base, and the quarry. On Sakhal, we've kept the custom areas light as it is our first season on the map and we didn't want to overdo it. We have added a trader near the Sakhalskaya geothermal plant, which is close to the centre of the main island, just southwest of the volcano. As always, it's marked out by the Green Mountain Tower and a ring of towers around which indicate the safe zone, and it is also surrounded by a no build zone. We've also added 2 custom areas to Shantar Island, which is the island on the bottom left of the map. These include a custom city, which we've called Shantar Zurvive, in the centre of the island, and a castle within the hills of the island. The Deathmatch map has been rotated again. This time we've gone back to Zelenogorsk, which has been a fan favourite every time we've used it. As mentioned earlier, elements of this map have been put into the main S1 server, so you can transfer your practice on this map into the main game. We have fixed cars spawning without any doors on some servers. This was originally an intentional change to combat a known exploit, but this has now been patched. On Chernarus and Livonia, we've also fixed some syntax errors in the weather files, which would often cause inconsistencies in the weather in-game. We will continue to monitor the weather throughout the season. The Discord has been wiped, meaning all stats, factions, zones, credits and accolades have been reset. All players now start with 750 credits as standard. We've updated all the map zones in each server's relevant info channel. These channels can be located at the top of each server category, and we've added the Sakhal zones to our iSurvive group. The link for this group is at the top of our Discord in the iSurvive channel, and thanks again to iSurvive for continuing to be a partner of Juzt Zurvive. The Killjoy accolade has now been removed and replaced with the Infiltrator accolade. This is earned by redeeming 3 or more flags during a single raid weekend. Submit these through the usual process in an events and rewards ticket. The Skinless accolade has now been replaced with the Executioner accolade. This is earned by capturing a player, physically restraining them, and then unaliving them whilst they're conscious. Brutal. Clips must be submitted, and of course, you can't just use your friends. We'll know. The Engineer accolade has finally been retired after 2 seasons, and we've reintroduced the Revenant accolade. You may remember this from back in Season 7. The Revenant accolade is earned by killing 2 bears in 30 seconds and living to tell the tale. Clip the kills and submit them in a ticket as usual. Following on from player suggestions and feedback, every time you earn an accolade, you will now also be rewarded with 1,500 credits. So that's a potential 15,000 extra credits that every player can earn each season. We've doubled the amount of points earned for redeeming a flag, so you'll now earn 2 points instead of the single point earned before. We hope this will put some more focus on raiding bases, which is a core part of the Juzt Zurvive experience. Last but not least, we've updated our prizes for the Faction Wars event. We will now award the top 3 factions on each server each season. Third place will now win a high tier kit token per member. Second place will now win a high tier and standard tier kit tokens per member. And the winners will receive 2 high tier kit tokens and 1 standard tier kit token, in addition to the Season X Champion accolade per member. And the faction leader will also be rewarded with 2 base starter kits, 2 base upgrade kits, a 48-hour respawning truck spawn at a location of their choosing, and a 48-hour respawning wooden plank spawn at a location of their choosing. Congratulations to the factions that won the Faction Wars event last season. On PlayStation, this was the Sith on S1 and Damaged Inc. on S2, both of whom led a commanding lead all throughout the season. On Xbox, these were Sigma Team 6 on S1, who overtook the lead a couple of weeks into the season, dominated throughout the middle, and held on to a narrow victory in the final event, and Jason Pavement on S2, who only took the lead 2 weeks before the season ended to take their first championship, so well done to all of you. That's all of the updates for the launch of Season X. We're always working hard to make your experience as fun as it can be, so if you have any suggestions for how we can improve, please let us know in a suggestions ticket. No matter how small you may think it is, we will always listen to what you have to say. We'll be looking to host a community chat in the first month of the new season, so we will put out an announcement once we have a date and time in mind. As always, there is no raiding this coming weekend to give everyone the time to set up and get your bases down. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you for your continued support. You are the life and blood of everything that we do here, and I'm personally really grateful to have you as a part of our growing family. Here's to another great season ahead. Now, whether you're making the jump to Sakhal or sticking to Chernarus or Livonia, keep on surviving.
Just survive, kill it, just survive. On it, run it, just survive, in it, just survive.